Okay, we're going to get started, everyone. Welcome. My name is Minda Brooks, and I'm part of the MIDS team. It is my pleasure to welcome you to tonight's graduation celebration. We are so thrilled to have you all join us to recognize the inaugural class of the MIDS program and applaud their much-deserved accomplishment. While we hope to have a more traditional ceremony and reception in person next year, we could not let this moment go by without marking it in a very special way. So a few housekeeping notes just before we get started. You should have received an event update with the link to tonight's program. The link is also available in the chat at the very beginning of the chat. So please refer to it and follow along. Take a moment to click the chat button at the bottom of your screen and say hi. Let us know where you're zooming from. As much as possible, we would love to see people's faces, so start your videos if you're so inclined and you haven't done so already. To help ensure everyone can hear and the program flows smoothly, we're going to keep everyone muted until the very end. After the closing remarks, we will unmute everyone so you can get all your applause and cheers in then. In the meantime, we strongly encourage you to take advantage of the chat and the reaction buttons, which you can find at the bottom of your screen. In addition, we're providing live closed captions throughout the program. If you don't see them already, you can click the More button at the bottom of your screen, and it should give you that option. It could be listed as a closed caption button at the bottom of your screen. And you can select either subtitles or the full transcript. If you have any technical difficulties, please share them in the chat and we'll do our best to help you out. Graduates, don't forget you're all invited to a private social Zoom gathering following the event, and Jillian will send you that link in the chat button. Okay, so now we're gonna get started with opening remarks from the first of two selected student elected speakers, Allison Young.
Hey everyone, it's so great to see all of your beautiful faces today. I first want to welcome the friends and families who are supporting the group of students here today. I know none of us would have gotten where we are without you. Thanks to Sarah, Dad, and Annie, shout out. And to all the faculty and staff, thank you for taking a chance on us. You hand-selected each of the students in this class, and together we formed an incredible group of compassionate, talented, fun, and inspiring individuals. With your help, we have become who we are today, the first ever graduating class of Duke MIDS. And to my fellow students, I want to offer a huge congratulations. Today is a big day, and you got us here. While this perhaps is not the exact graduation we had expected for today, I'm excited to gather and celebrate us. 2 short years ago, I remember embarking on this challenge, one that would be among the greatest of our lives. I remember the feeling of utter confusion and total mental exhaustion as we worked late into the nights of boot camp. But I also remember feeling this nearly instant connectedness. I was in awe of all the incredible people I was meeting, their talents, their wit, and their openness to learn and share new experiences with me. We've seen it all together since that first month. We welcomed new family additions, persevered through all-night datathons, and machine learning assignments. We celebrated one another's accomplishments, and we encouraged each other and shared the load during the tough weeks. I'm especially looking at you first-year spring semester. And in all these times, I found that I never felt alone. I knew I could call on each and every one of you, and you would be there to rally by my side. Through unexpected surgeries, remote learning, and other radical changes for our cohort, we stuck together. We stayed positive, and just look how far we have come. Not even a global pandemic could stop us. And that's because these experiences brought us together. That instant connectedness grew to something more. It became the love shared between family, the MIDS family, this group of brilliant, tough, joyful, and soon-to-be world changers. The celebration today is just another example of how no amount of distance or chaos can keep us down. We are the inaugural class of MIDS, and we are a force to be reckoned with. And if you agree and are excited about this celebration today, let's see it in the reactions. Click your buttons. Yay! All right. I'm so glad everyone's here. And with this official welcoming over, I'm now going to hand it off to Malvika to introduce one of our special guests.
My name is Malvika Marathe, and I am one of the class representatives. On behalf of the 2020 MIDS inaugural class, we would like to award Professor Jerry Ryder with the Faculty Award. Professor Ryder taught our modeling and data representation class during the fall semester of our first year and went above and beyond to ensure our understanding of the concepts and materials that were taught. He has an unparalleled command of the subject matter, and his passion for teaching shines through each and every class. His depth of mentorship, passion for the field, and genuine concern about the professional growth of his students were a hallmark to us all, mere data science fledglings. We never knew just how excited a professor could be about missing data. He constantly demonstrated that he truly cared for us as students, whether it was staying overtime during his office hours, providing additional advising for electives students should take, or simply sending out an email during this uncertain time to check on our well-being. Professor Ryder is an inspiration to us all, and we are incredibly excited to present this award to him as a token of our appreciation. If you would like, Jerry, we would love for you to say a few words.
Wow, thanks so much, Monica. And it's great to see everyone. Thank you so much. This is the award. You can't see it now. Maybe you can see it if I do this. I bet you've never had anyone do this before. Well, it says Duke MIDS Distinguished Faculty Award presented to Dr. Jerome Ryder for outstanding teaching and mentorship from the Duke MIDS class of 2020. It's absolutely very beautiful and a lovely award. Thank you so much. Congratulations to everyone. I'm graduating with a master's in interdisciplinary data science. Completing a master's degree is a major accomplishment. Even more so as the first class in a brand new program. And you all have set the bar for MIDS really high, not only for your academic and intellectual accomplishments, which are many, but also for your levels of camaraderie and teamwork and just general good nature. I'm proud of all of you and of the standard that you have set for MIDSters to come. I'm also very proud and honored to be the recipient of the Distinguished Faculty Award. It was an absolute privilege to be one of your professors and mentors and advisors. I wish you the best of luck with all of your future endeavors. Stay in touch, and once again, congratulations.
Hello, and thank you so much for including me in this event. Since everyone at MIDS seems nervous about whether I'm technologically savvy enough to pull this off live, I'm recording this, but I'm also present live to celebrate this special occasion. I'd actually always intended to have this class over for a celebratory graduation barbecue at my house, but of course we can't do that during these crazy times. And I briefly thought about shaving my corona beard for you, but then that too is just part of the times. As I reflected over the last few days about what I should say, I thought back to when we first got to know each other, which for me was during the admissions process over 2 years ago. I actually went back and looked at some of our emails and videos, and memories of that intense time flooded back. I remember our first meeting of the admissions committee, when we opened Tyler's application, and before we knew it, we were watching a video he submitted without us having prompted that at all. We'd never even thought about making this part of the application process. But seeing Tyler gave us the idea to ask for those 1-minute videos, which we did in your year for all applicants the admissions committee had not yet reviewed, which was most of you. So if you hated making that 1-minute video, you know you can thank Tyler. Then there was the very first virtual interview. Anna Berman had gotten in touch and thought she might have to make an early decision, but we hadn't quite figured out how to do the interviews. She had gotten her undergraduate degree at the University of Rochester, which got my attention, because that's where I had gotten my PhD when she was just a toddler. So I suspected this was going to be good. Anna became the only MIDS applicant interviewed on WebEx instead of Skype. She was sitting in her apartment in the middle of an array of indoor plants, and we felt so good after the interview. If this is the kind of person we could get into MIDS, this was going to be a great success. Anna also coincidentally became the first person to be admitted to MIDS. Then we figured out Skype was the way to go, and our next interview was Allison Young. I don't recall exactly what Jana said after we got off the Skype call. I think it was something like, wow, if we can get the kind of program that has a space for someone like her, we will have something really special. And so we made the space. And it went on from there. I remember the interview with Sean Yu. It was going fine, but we weren't sure whether he could let us see the true Sean, really let his guard down. Then Dan Egger had the crazy idea to ask him about a teddy bear that was sitting on a shelf behind him. And Sean came to life telling us the backstory of that bear and why it was sitting there. Who would have thought a teddy bear sealed the deal in this case? Sean, you don't know this, but for the next few months we referred to you as Teddy Bear Guy. We found Danny in medical school and Joe in the army, and my kids thought this must be a really cool program when I told them we recruited someone from a cruise ship. One of you wrote me an email I'll never forget. Here are the 3 reasons MIDS will be great if you admit me. We weren't sure what to make of that, and lots of debates in the admissions committee ensued, but ultimately we agreed. Then there was Jason, who was destined to become my Facebook video partner when we recruited the class of 2021. He entertained us during his interview with some robotic contraptions whose purpose I'm still not sure about. They didn't seem to work all that well, but his excitement worked on us. I never thought we'd have a program where Division I volleyball players would come, but along came Kirsten. We knew nothing about the Fulbright program and how it worked, but we're fortunate to have Lydia become a pioneer, followed by several others. Then at the end of the process, when we thought we were all done, I discovered a set of files that somehow had gotten left out. And in that pile we found Julie, our last admit of the class of 2020. So we went through this crazy process. Almost 700 applications, over 121 interviews, and I could tell a story about each one of them. I felt like I got to know each of you just a little bit, and then tried to guess how likely it was you might come. Sure, we found all of you, this incredibly diverse group. But did you like us as much as we liked you? Would you accept and actually show up on day one? As exhaustion from all the interviews set in, did we manage to act so loopy that it became hard to take us seriously? Should we have had our own teddy bear, or maybe a minion, sitting behind us to help us out? It was a nerve-wracking few weeks. I think the gray that I have discovered in my beard might have its origins there. Now, as some of you know, not everyone in this group had the greatest grades in their previous degree program. I guess FERPA keeps me from outing individuals I'm thinking of. You know who you are. But we learned that there was so much more about you we valued during our conversations. I had to educate the graduate school about this a number of times as they challenged me in cases where past grades weren't the best. And we now know, after 2 years, that we were right every time. We took a risk on a number of you, but you also took a risk on us. Not everyone we admitted did the same. Some went for what seemed like the safe option instead. In the end, I think the fact that you plunged in and took that risk, the fact that you were willing to pioneer this program, says so much more about you than grades or transcripts or any project you might have done over the past 2 years. Don't ever lose whatever spark that was. It'll serve you well long after the memories of the last 2 years, all the crazy ups and downs, recede. We laid out a vision for MIDS that was unique, and you made it real. I'm sure we did not succeed in everything we hoped to have for you, but I'm certain you succeeded because of what each of you individually and all of you collectively brought to MIDS. You became leaders and teammates. And you led within and outside the program, as acknowledged by Big Duke, when one of you was recognized with a Duke-wide Leadership Award. Congratulations, Avani. It has been a burden for this class to be first, and I hope a privilege as well. And it has been one of the great privileges of my professional life to have played a small role in all of it. Thank you. I didn't know when I recruited you that I would not be there to see the 2 years through. Unforeseen circumstances have led to a quieter year of sabbatical for me, as you made it through the turbulent second year and then confronted the shock of having it all change once again because of this public health crisis. But before I left, I raided the MIDS closet at the back of the classroom. I have so many MIDS shirts and hoodies that I have managed to make these my entire wardrobe for the past year. I thought of you often, and now wish you all the very best as you head into uncertain times. I hope to hear from you over the years, and for now, I'll just raise my glass to toast you and your success in completing your degree and launching MIDS from an idea to a reality. Congratulations.
There we go. And Tom, you can't fool us. We know you didn't set up that camera by yourself. I am so honored and grateful to have been given the opportunity to speak with you. Thank you to the Midsters who have put so much thought into how to make the celebration meaningful, despite the disruptive historic times we are living through. Thank you, too, to the MIDS staff and leadership who have acted so nimbly and made sure we had a way to celebrate this amazing class of students, despite the physical distance we have found ourselves in. And of course, thank you to the family members, partners, friends, pets, and electronic skateboards who supported these students throughout their time here at Duke. Many of you watching this are doing so at strange times of day or night, and I know some people couldn't attend at all. The class of 2020 would not be where they are today without you, and we will treasure the time you made it possible for us to spend with these incredible students. Now, to the class of 2020. There is so much I would love to share with you and discuss with you, especially because I have not been able to talk with most of you recently due to this onslaught of coronavirus, as well as the expected arrival of my youngest daughter, Sky, who I'm happy to say is doing very well, despite sleeping very little. But since our time is short, I will do my best to constrain my remarks. Tom shared with you some of our memories and thoughts from admissions. I'd like to spend some time reflecting on what happened once you joined us here on Duke's campus. And it's hard to know how to start such a crazy topic without saying, wow, what a ride you've had these past 2 years. Going first is a kind of privilege, but it's also always messy, and your journey proved that to an almost comical extent. Within the first few weeks of your semester, one of your classes got canceled because one of our professors had a sudden health problem that took him out of commission for the rest of the semester. Then another course had to be erected in its place in less than a week, which led to its own challenges. After that, there were all the staffing changes. You agreed when you accepted your MIDS offer to be patient as we got staffed up, but I'm sure you never anticipated, nor did we ever anticipate, that you would have 4 separate people in program coordinator type positions, 3 directors, 2 capstone instructors, and 2 career specialists over the course of just 2 years. On top of that, you were our guinea pigs as we taught the MIDS core courses and capstones for the first time, which meant, of course, the courses were more bumpy than they would be if they had been taught before. And as if all of that wasn't enough, just to make things a little more exciting, you finished your capstones in physical time at Duke amidst a freaking global pandemic, the likes of which we haven't seen for almost a century. I can only imagine how disorienting these changes have been for you. I think it is very unlikely that any other MIDS cohort will ever be asked to endure quite as many significant challenges as you have. The thing I will remember most about your class, though, is not how much you had to endure, but instead how resilient you were to everything that was thrown at you. You have consistently handled the changes with poise, maturity, and solidarity. You threw yourselves into things that were working well. You told us what you were thinking and feeling about the things that were working less well, and you collaborated with us to make them better for you and for the next MIDS classes. You continued to smile, you continued to laugh, you continued to dream, and you continued to be the fascinating people we met during admissions. The MIDS program the class of 2021 is experiencing, and the future classes of MIDS will experience down the line, is very much a product of your ideas, your investments, and your team spirit during these crazy but wonderful first years. Thank you for all you have shared with us and invested in us. Now, if you will indulge me, I would like to talk a little bit about your future. This may not be what you expected, to hear me say, class of 2020. But I hope your time at MIDS is not the last time you experience such a wild ride creating something. The reason why is because I want you to keep on doing the things you believe in, even if, maybe especially if, it means being the first. I want you to go out there, follow your passions, and use the data and professional skills you learned here at Duke, and the ones you will continue to learn as you grow in your careers, to solve the important world problems people didn't think were solvable. We chose you for the MIDS class during those interviews Tom talked about for two main reasons. The first is because you were so darn interesting and wanted to do such meaningful things. Do you remember during the first day of boot camp when I asked you to stand if a certain statement applied to you? For example, I would ask you to stand if you had a graduate degree already, or stand if you had started a company, or stand if you were an artist. Many of you audibly gasped at certain points during that exercise. All of you, I think, were surprised at least some point. I think many people expected the first MIDS class to be filled exclusively with computer science and statistics majors, maybe with a few mathematicians thrown in for good measure. And indeed, some of you did study these topics in college, and we are so glad you did. But the fact is, most of you did not. Your backgrounds, interests, and experiences are so diverse and unique, and that was by design. As you know, our dream at MIDS is to mentor data scientists who will have impact. We chose the 36 of you because either you already knew what big problems you wanted to solve and were committed to learning the data skills you needed to get there, or because you weren't sure what big problem you wanted to solve with your data training you already had, but you wanted to come to MIDS to figure it out. Whichever group you were in, you all are the type of data scientists who want to do big things and make life better. Almost by definition, that means you will also often be the ones doing something for the very first time. So you will have some bumpy roads ahead of you. A lot of them, in fact. But I want you to remember that the second reason we chose you to be in this inaugural class is because you showed us that you had the personal fortitude and integrity to handle the messiness of going first. Those personal virtues will carry you through the challenges you will encounter as you generate creative new ways to use data to solve the problems you are passionate about. And the challenges will be worth it, because the things you will be building will be beautiful and meaningful. I can tell you that the craziness of the past few years has been completely worth it for me, because the MIDS community and mission you helped build means so much to me. Of course, that doesn't mean going first is easy, or that it will ever be easy. So I thought I would try to consolidate all the things we have talked about and learned together over the past 2 years that will help guide you the next time you find yourself being one of the first to create a data-centric solution. So here they are, the MIDS Cliff Note style guidelines for being the first. Number 1, make sure the answer to the question, should I be doing this, is an enthusiastic, hells yeah, I should. The philosopher Hannah Arendt said, the sad truth is that most evil is done by people who never make up their minds to be either good or evil. Don't let yourself be complacent about your integrity. Almost everything you will be doing or creating as data scientists will impact others in some way. Make sure you will be proud of the impact you will have. Many things data scientists are called to do, or at least given the opportunity to do, run the risk of infringing on people's rights and liberties. For example, our profession routinely creates tools that violate people's privacy, are biased against specific groups of people, or that determine issues of life and death. Know your values, and only engage in projects and pursuits you are confident are consistent with who you want to be. Don't allow yourself to succumb to the temptation to delegate the moral responsibility of your projects to someone else. Only you can protect your integrity, and few things give you more strength during hardship than knowing you like who you are and can trust yourself to do what is right. Number 2, think like a scientist, but act like an entrepreneur. What does it mean to think like a scientist, especially since we call ourselves data scientists? It means to assess and interpret evidence systematically and objectively, being transparent about what you can and cannot validly know. You will be tackling problems you are passionate about, and it will be easy to let the data trick you into thinking that they are consistent with what you want to be true, instead of what is actually true. Use the critical thinking skills you have called here at MIDS to probe each piece of evidence deliberately and objectively, being honest about what you can validly conclude. But then, as you make those conclusions, act like an entrepreneur. Scientists, And being a scientist myself, I feel like I'm allowed to say this, especially because social distancing will prevent my colleagues from hitting me if they don't like what I'm about to say. But scientists sometimes are so captivated by finding the truth that they forget to translate that truth into something that has impact. The scientists who make a difference in this world are the ones who act like entrepreneurs themselves, or who are lucky enough to partner with entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs are singularly obsessed with bringing new things to fruition. They make their decisions about what to do based on what people need and what problems need to be solved, and they doggedly seek information that tells them whether they are accomplishing those goals. When you are one of the first people to be working on a new solution, don't forget to use the skills you learned here at MIDS to act like an entrepreneur. Build a team of diverse backgrounds and perspectives. Listen to those affected by the problem. Prototype, and be willing to make changes humbly, creatively, and quickly. Since you can never get everything right the first time, it's critical that you ask for feedback, embrace suggestions about ways to improve, and enlist others to help you build solutions. Don't forget that having the perfect statistical model isn't your goal. Solving the problem is. Number 3, lead like Angela Merkel. Okay, I know that's a really weird one, especially because I don't even know that much about Angela Merkel. But when I was looking for examples of the type of leadership we envisioned when we designed the MIDS curriculum, I kept being pointed to articles about the way Angela Merkel has been handling Germany's response to COVID-19. These articles ascribe Germany's relative success to Merkel's scientific thinking. For those of you who don't know, she is a doctorate in quantum chemistry. So they ascribe Germany's success to Merkel's scientific thinking, her ability to communicate and share information honestly with others, her empathy, and her willingness to consult expert opinions other than her own. So let me relate these descriptions of Angela Merkel to what you've helped cultivate at MIDS and what I think will help you in the future. One of my favorite memories from MIDS was the day during boot camp when you were all practicing getting those annoying buzz rings around the circle. You were standing tightly together, many with your arms wrapped around one another, as one by one you were able to pass the buzz rings to the next person without stopping the rings from buzzing. Many of you were obviously nervous and seemed uncomfortable, but the thing that still gives me chills down my back to this day was the way you were all chanting each other's names in solidarity and support, so that even the most anxious among you couldn't help but smile, and yes, eventually succeed. You were having so much fun helping each other and succeeding together. In those moments, every person in the class had their own unique value, and you all knew that what you could create together was so much more impressive than what you could create apart. Contrary to what we are often taught, research shows that humble leaders are much more successful than those without humility. Many people equate humility with a lack of confidence or ambition, but that isn't what humility is. Humility is an appreciation of other people's capabilities and what you have to learn from them. It's not a depreciation of oneself. When you help others, you are showing them that you think they are worth helping. When you ask for help, you are showing that you value what others know and you don't. And when you are able to inspire multiple people in a group to ask and give help, you create the type of environment that allows for diverse teams to innovate and continuously learn and solve the big problems this world needs solved. I hope you can remember the buzz rings and other similar moments like them when you are trying to solve problems outside of Duke. If you share what you know, ask for help, and embrace humility, you will succeed. To sum up MIDS class of 2020, if there's nothing else to remember from your 2 years here, I want you to remember these things as you pursue your bright futures in data science. Number 1, make sure the answer to this question, should I be doing this, is an enthusiastic hells yeah, I should. Number 2, think like a scientist, but act like an entrepreneur. Number 3, lead like Angela Merkel. That's what you need to take with you. For everything else, you can use Stack Exchange to remind yourself how to do it. So I know I'm almost out of time. With the last few moments I have, I want to remind you of one more thing. Whatever problem you decide to tackle, know that all of us here at Duke and at MIDS have your back. You can always reach out for practical or life help. And in fact, we will be asking you for help as well, since we hope the MIDS alumni community will grow to be a very rewarding one for both current and former students. Please come back and share with us what you are working on and what new ideas you have. Please also tell us things like when you get married and when you have kids. You are part of the MIDS family, and we are a family for life. Our doors are always open, and we will have chocolate ready for you. I know Tom's chocolate is usually the fanciest, but I have more options, so come visit me first. Class of 2020, congratulations on everything you've accomplished. Thank you so much for letting me be one small part of your journey. Here's to you and your very, very bright futures.
Go ahead.
All right, so I'm Robert Calderbank. It's my honor to direct the MIDS program. Maybe I'll just pick up from where Tom and Jana left off. Why do students come to Duke? When we, the faculty, are feeling particularly proud of ourselves, we say, oh, it's the quality of the faculty. But really, we know deep down that students come to Duke to be surrounded by other students who are just as clever as they are and as passionate and as talented. And they come to Duke to work with them, to do things that they couldn't do by themselves. So that's you, the class of 2020. We put a lot of, we launched in 2018, and I think that we, the faculty, feel that we have been learning from you ever since. We have these classes where we try and teach you how to do things, and we know that that's kind of hard for you. It's actually kind of hard for us too. And when we were thinking about how we could celebrate you, the class of 2020, in a very concrete way, well, first, we asked you for ideas and you gave us ideas, and we asked Duke whether that would be possible, and Duke said no. And so we had to come up with our own idea. And the idea that we came up with was that we thought that we could remember you to the classes, the generations that come after you, by creating a special teaching assistantship, which would be the class of 2020 teaching assistantship. So all of these difficulties that you've had in your introductory classes, perhaps they'll be easier for the people that come after you. And like Jana and Tom said, we hope that you will come back and visit us all, and that you will keep in touch as you make your way through life. What we hope to do in our curriculum is by this emphasis on teams to teach you or give you practice in making lots of other people successful, because we feel that if we can communicate that skill, you'll have lots and lots of success later in life. Okay, thank you very much.
Keep it going. projects in those team rooms at Grossville. Also remember we watched Game of Thrones last episode together. We celebrated all those festivals and always have fun. Because of MIDS, I met you amazing people who are sweet, smart, and always supportive as my friends and families. 这夜的风会吹，吹得心痒痒，说的晴朗，花在他乡，望着月亮。
Because of MIDS, I had a chance to think about what I really want from my life. And along this journey, I've met great people, great teammates, great teachers whom I learned a lot from. So I believe I'm a better person than 2 years ago. That is the most important thing to me.
Because of MIDS, I've known great people like you guys, and I took my first step in data science.
In one of the most amazing journeys of my life, I met truly inspirational and genuine people that I can call my friends. I learned so much from you all. I hope you remember our special bond as the first class of MIDS. I wish all the best as everyone goes off to pursue their goals after graduation. Congratulations, everybody. Let's keep in touch and love you all.
Brujeria, how he comes and disappears. Every move will hypnotize you. Some will call it chuleria, others say that it's a real Rastafari Afro gitano. And he's an ally en la disco playing sexy till him harder. He's the king bailando el ritmo ragatanga. And the DJ that he knows while on the spot always around to raise a mix that gave him mezcla con la salsa. Y la baila, and he dances, y la canta.
Hacer eje, ja, deje, deje ve tu deje dice mi no va más allá de booty. Stop.
Someone! Oh my god!
That's beautiful.
Don't die!
Don't die, please.
Jenny's just so.
Hey everyone, I'm Viggy Kamarison, and I'm honored to be closing out tonight's ceremony. First off, I want to thank Minda and Jillian for putting all of this together. You fought extremely hard to give us the best graduation experience possible, and we're all extremely grateful for your support. Needless to say, none of us imagined that we'd be graduating at home in front of our laptop, wearing our favorite fuzzy socks, and using words like social distancing and contact tracing. But if anything, our last 2 years together have taught us to expect the unexpected. One of the primary reasons I joined this program was the opportunity to be a pioneer, and I suspect that is true for many of you as well. And with that comes great ability to shape the future, but also innate challenges, which we witnessed firsthand. This is true of any new experience, where comfort is cast aside for the promise of building something great. But what we've learned from these 2 years are fundamental lessons that will aid us in being resilient for future challenges in a world that is complex and continues to change. I always try to think back about everything from the point of view of my 70-year-old future self. When we look back on our lives in our old age, do we want to look back on an easy path, smooth and without any character? Or do we want to look back and be proud of the arduous journey that we've traveled on, full of challenges and adversity that built us to become who we truly are? Quite honestly, we should be afraid of the safety and comfort that the smooth path provides, because while it may seem practical at the time, it really just handicaps us from pursuing our dreams. That's why I'm so immensely proud of how far we've come as a cohort together in the last 2 years. We didn't let our fears or our setbacks define us. Instead, we turned them into opportunity. We defined what it means to be a data scientist at Duke, and that it doesn't come in one shape or form. We joined hands as complete strangers to work in teams, learn together, and build solutions to the world's biggest problems. And most importantly, we spent time listening to one another, appreciating each other's unique backgrounds, and forming bonds that will last a lifetime. Now more than ever, the world is in desperate need of people who will listen, be compassionate, and take decisive action. And for that reason, I'm thrilled and excited to see the change that we will enact in the coming years. So as we wrap up this virtual commencement ceremony, I'll use someone else's words to send us off into the future. The Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Our inward power pursues its own aims as circumstances allow. It turns obstacles into fuel. As a fire overwhelms what would have quenched a lamp, what's thrown on top of the conflagration is absorbed, consumed by it, and makes it burn still higher. Let us now go into the world, turning our future obstacles into the fuel that will drive our change on this planet." Thank you, and now let's all unmute to give our speakers a round of applause. And our
Yeah, they clap. Congrats.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Hi, JJ. Oh, JJ. Congratulations.
35 más. ¿Y tú,
나
Pam?
우리도 그랬어?
아니,
Okay, now you have to mute yourself. Do you know how to mute in the corner?
Yes.
Okay, everyone, before you go, I just wanted to say a few things. First of all, thank you so much for joining us. This is, again, just like this whole semester, a little bit bumpy, but we got through it. I want to thank Viggy, Malvika, and Allison and Kate for helping put this whole thing together. I couldn't have done it without you. And I think it came out really well. That video was hilarious. Before you go, I wanted to share a video from some of the current and past people that were part of your MIDS. So bear with me for 1 second while I share my screen one last time, okay?
Congratulations, Midsters!
Hello, Midsters. Congratulations.
Hello, Midsters. Class of 2020, first graduating class of the MIDS program.
Hello, MIDS class of 2020. Congratulations.
Hello, Duke class of 2020. Congratulations. You survived graduate school.
Hello, MIDS class of 2020. Congratulations.
Hey, MIDS class of 2020. Huge congrats to all of you inaugural Midsters as you're graduating.
Hey, MIDS class of 2020 and the first MIDS class from Duke.
Hey, class of 2020. Congratulations.
Congratulations to the first ever Duke MIDS class.
Hello, MIDS class of 2020, and congratulations on your graduation.
Congratulations, class of 2020. It's been wonderful to work with all of you and get to know you this past semester.
Hey, class of 2020. Congratulations. You did it.
Hey, Midsters, it's Alex. I just wanted to congratulate you all on this huge accomplishment. I know this means everything, and sorry that we couldn't be there in person.
First off, since I know you'd be disappointed if we got together like old times and there wasn't a quiz, so go ahead to pollev.com/Kyle Bradbury for old time's sake. There's an important question there for you all, and I'm actually not kidding. Go ahead, go.
It has certainly been 2 years of many firsts. First time in the United States, first time on Duke's campus, first time taking MIDS core courses, and certainly and foremost, our first inaugural class of the MIDS program here at Duke University.
I cannot believe you're already graduating. I am just so thankful I've had the chance to work with you all these past 2 years.
And all the friendships that you've built, all the skills and critical thinking that you've cultivated, all the growth that you've undergone, those are yours. No one can take that away from you. And in fact, they're always going to be a part of your story.
And I also want to thank you just for joining us at SSRI. Coming in as the first cohort of Midsters was a bold move on each of your parts. And
you're the first cohort of MIDS, and I'm just so impressed by how you've grown over the course of the program. From all of you through the tales of your internships and experiences in your capstone projects.
You guys have been trailblazers. You've shown up from the beginning with a lot of energy, a lot of heart, a lot of passion.
We absolutely had the wonderful experience having you here. We could not have imagined a better first cohort for MIDS than you all.
It's never easy being first, and I've been so impressed with your ability to adapt to all the changes thrown your way.
From this point forward, I hope that your intake of Panera Bread significantly reduces, and may you have to never take another survey again.
While it's been a bumpy road with lots of changes, I've been so impressed by everybody's flexibility, resilience, and enthusiasm.
You've worked so hard, you've learned so much, you've adapted to so much change, and you've supported each other along the way. Well done. Be proud of yourself and your accomplishments.
I've watched you grow as individuals and as students, and I really loved watching you guys come together and form a MIDS family.
You will remain connected to your MIDS experience, largely through each other, sometimes in intentional ways and sometimes in surprising ways. I hope you continue to find support, camaraderie, and a strong sense of belonging in both each other and in the future communities that you will join or build.
and I know you've all worked really hard, and you've effectively set the bar really high in terms of what it means to be a MIDS student.
Having MIDS within our umbrella has just been a wonderful thing for SSRI. So thank you so much for that.
I've enjoyed getting to know you. I've enjoyed working with you, and I anticipate great things for your future.
I know that the world right now has a lot of uncertainties, and as you head out into the world, I'm sure you are going to have a lot of questions about what the next few years are going to look like. But life always has uncertainties, and I have to say that I personally feel a lot better about the world, knowing that you are going to be some of the people who are going to be going out there and helping use data to resolve a lot of the problems that we have ahead of us.
You are a critical part of rebuilding the world after this is all over.
I know this program has really armed you all with the skills that you're going to need to be successful in this industry. I look forward to calling all of you colleagues, and I wish you all continued success.
I just wanted to encourage y'all to keep pushing, keep striving. I've seen how hard y'all work, and I know that you all deserve the very, very best.
Please go make your mark on the world, but please have some fun while you're at it. Show them how data science should be done, the blue way.
However, never forget that you will always have a home and a community in MIDS.
We're so proud of you, and we look forward to being in a relationship with you for the rest of your career. You'll always be a part of the Duke family, so take care of each other, love one another, and go make the world that you want to live in.
I cannot wait to see where you go and what you accomplish. I wish you the very best of luck, and congratulations. You've definitely earned it.
Please stay in contact with one another. That is the best network. You never know when you're going to need them. So all that said, go out there, show the world how data science is done, MIDS style.
I'm very proud of each of you. Congratulations, and best wishes to each of you on your futures ahead.
So once again, congratulations. I wish you all the very best in your future endeavors. Welcome to the Duke University alumni family, and go Duke.
We hope you enjoyed tonight's event. Thank you all so much for being here. It has been a pleasure and a privilege, and we know we're going to see you all very soon. Take care. Good night.